Have you ever felt like you have a million thoughts swirling around in your head, but you can't quite grab onto them? Well, today we're going to talk about how to take all that chaos and forge it into something powerful, something organized. We're going to dive into the art of wisdom.
And this slide right here, this is the core idea. On one side, you've got knowledge. It's just scattered bits of information. But on the other side, you have wisdom. It's the same information, but it's organized, it's structured, and let's be real, the success, the respect, all the things we're chasing in life, they come from wisdom, not just from having a head full of random facts. So what is wisdom, really? It's simple. It's the art of using knowledge. See, it's not about how many books you've read or how many facts you can recite. It's all about how you applied what you know. That's the game changer. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to break this down into 3 simple but really powerful steps. First, we're going to master the mind. Then we'll tackle how to master our actions. And finally, we'll see how those two come together to help us truly master our lives. All right, first things first, we have to start with the foundation, and that's your mind. This whole section is about getting your internal world in order, your thoughts, your memories, so they finally start working for you instead of against you. Okay, so check out this story. It's a little weird, but it's brilliant. You've got a professor who deliberately puts his car keys in the fridge, right next to a cake he's supposed to bring home. Why on earth would he do that? Well, it's simple. He knows that later, when he's looking for his keys, their strange location will instantly remind him about the cake. He's basically hacking his own brain. And that little story tells us something fundamental about how our minds work. Our brains don't just remember random stuff. They lock onto things when they're tied to one of 3 triggers: genuine interest, a powerful emotion, or a clever association, just like the professor's keys in the cake. This brings us to another huge mental tool. In a world where Google exists, having all the answers is kind of cheap. The real skill, the thing that sets people apart, is knowing how to ask the right questions. The quality of the information you get is directly tied to the quality of the questions you ask. So how do we actually organize all these questions and ideas? Well, we can take a cue from the greatest designer of them all, nature. The idea here is to think in maps. Start creating diagrams, mind maps, anything that helps you visually structure your thoughts. And what's wild is that once you start looking, you'll see this pattern literally everywhere. It's in the way our veins branch out, the roots of a massive tree, the neural pathways inside our own brains, even our fingerprints. Nature uses this map structure for pretty much everything. So why aren't we using it to organize our thoughts? All right, so we've started to get our minds organized. That's step 1. Now, how do we take that inner clarity and turn it into actual, effective action in the real world? It's time to turn that wisdom into results. This right here is a real game changer. The key to getting things done is focus. In almost any project or goal, you'll find that a tiny piece of what you do, we're talking like 5%, is responsible for the vast majority of the results. Think about it. In sales, it's the 5% of clients who bring in 80% of the money. The secret is to figure out what that 5% is and then ruthlessly focus on it. And here's a great little test for yourself. True understanding always leads to simplicity. If you've really truly figured out the core of an idea, you should be able to explain it in a single sentence. If you can't, you're probably still lost in that other 95% of noise. And the way you talk to yourself, it has a massive impact on your actions. Just look at the difference here. I need to lose weight is a vague goal. It's passive. But I will walk 10,000 steps daily. That's a command. That's an action. You got to concentrate on the steps, not just the destination. And listen, this applies to everything, even your health. Don't turn it into a chore you hate. If the treadmill bores you to tears, try swimming or get a punching bag. Make your food delicious, not a punishment. The simple truth is, if you enjoy the action, you'll actually stick with it. So we've organized our minds and we've focused our actions. Now let's pull the camera all the way back. It's time to look at the big picture and apply a broader philosophy to how we navigate life itself. I absolutely love this metaphor. Deep inside our ears, there's this tiny mechanism that keeps our whole body physically balanced. Well, life demands the same kind of internal balance. Your confidence, your arrogance, it can never get bigger than your actual skill and experience. The moment it does, you're pretty much guaranteed to fall. And while you're trying to find that balance, you need to remember this. Time moves terrifyingly fast. I mean, does it really feel like 20 years since Koi Male Gaia came out, or that the first Iron Man movie hit theaters way back in 2008? The years just vaporize and we barely even notice. Just think about this for a second. The iconic Shah Rukh Khan said that 25 years of his incredible career went by in the blink of an eye. 25 years. If that doesn't feel like a wake-up call, I don't know what does. The clock is always ticking, way faster than we think. So what's the point of all this urgency? Well, it comes down to this really profound idea. At the end of it all, people don't regret dying. The real pain, the real tragedy, comes from the feeling that they never really lived. Not fully, not freely. It's the chances you didn't take that will haunt you. Which leaves us with one final, kind of crazy question to think about. How would you achieve your 10-year goals in the next 6 months? Now, this isn't about whether it's possible. It's a mindset shift. If you were absolutely forced to do it, what would you do differently? What noise would you cut out? What's that 5% you would focus on starting right now?